But what they're doing now is there's 4 contestants left, I think, real contestants. And now they're bringing 6 new people tomorrow who also think that it's called Famous House. And so they're going back to Famous House, and the 4 people have to act as though they haven't been there the whole time. They can't give up that they know production, that they know the true purpose of the game. And if they give it up, they're eliminated. And Jet says if all of them get eliminated, that they're going to have to keep the show going again. And one of the new 6 contestants will have to be the winner after a new crop of 6 is brought 3 weeks from now, which of course seems a little convoluted. But I'm excited to see where it goes, because a lot of this is just clearly fly by night, just fun. And then other bits of it are very constructed.
Are not in on the gig, right? Richard Ryan, whatever. My bad. It's hard to call them consenting, right? They're being tricked.
They were initially, like, they thought it was going to be a Hulu show, and then as soon as it was, because it was only like a weekend, maybe even less, that they revealed, like, this isn't a Hulu show. You're on basically an internet Stanford prison experiment. And immediately a few people left and were like, I can't handle this. And since then, they amped up the TTS, they amp up the intensity. Usually, at least based on how previous fish tanks go, the people that survive Frank Hassel, they always drop Frank in for like a 3 to 4 day period of just abject horror in the middle. And the people that make it through that and come out the other side are like, I'm in this. All my clothes are covered in mustard. Like, I'm already on the show. I'm gonna fucking win. I have to win at this point. And so they're very motivated. The Indian guy is getting bullied a lot by text to speech.
Symbol.
Oh yeah. Like, you could tell that Frank really did not like the Indian guy at all. He'd like, because the Indian guy's like 5'4" or something, and Frank is you could literally fit 3 or 4 symbols in a Frank if you just like emulsified him and like into a powder silo. And then and Frank would walk up to him and he'd be like, oh, am I bothering you? Am I in your face? And this guy's just like, what the fuck?
So Frank's not a contestant.
Symbols attacking him. No, Frank is a member of production. His job is Frank is hired to come in and get as many people to leave as possible. He's trying to get them to quit.
Okay.
And so that's his purpose.
Is the contest? I mean, eventually you're down to contestants who don't quit. So how do they choose who won?
They do a big final challenge, usually for like the last 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. There will be like a 3-person thing, and then one person gets kicked ow through a challenge, and then it's like a head-to-head, some form of challenge, or
those challenges. Would you call them kind of fair?
No, no, not even close. Like, some of the challenges will be like, all right, season 1, they like clearly didn't have a plan for how to end it. And so they just locked the final 2 people in a room for like 4 or 5 straight days and made them do whatever games Sam thought of, where he's like, this is the handstand challenge, handstand longer, and then just do that. Or like, this is the deviled egg challenge. Whoever can eat more deviled eggs. Ooh. And meanwhile, it's like, where do they go to the bathroom? There's a bucket in the closet. They have to open the closet and go in there and go to the bathroom and then come back out. And so it's meant to be a hell house. And at any point you can leave. At any point you can leave. Just walk away if it's not for you. But
I hear you.
Some
I have
people
too much
do it.
Empathy. I can't watch this stuff and just enjoy their suffering. Although I did like to see Frank fall. I just I put myself in that position of like Frank pouring that fluid on me, and I'm like, I don't know how I'd respond, but I'd feel obligated
to swing,
fight,
to give what I got, right?
No, I have to fight.
I guess I'm committed to losing this fight. Here we go.
Well, Taylor says Frank has this opening move where he turns his back to you and moves toward you.
Oh my God! I'm like, why don't they pull out the chair? This is a basketball thing. Not that I'm some good player, but in basketball, let's say you're defending the net and I'm backing up, right? Mm-hmm. What your move is to just let me fall. Right, pull the chair out from under me. I fall on my ass. I look like an idiot.
Oh,
Frank seems
choke him out.
susceptible to it.
Take the back. Take the back.
Or that? Oh, yeah, it's a great move.
I'm gonna choke you out and hope you piss yourself in front of everybody.
You're escalating high. I was just letting him fall on the ground, looking at him while I'm still standing. Like, that was my thought.
Like, if this is day 1 and he's already like trying to humiliate me, it's like, all right, we're gonna have to fight. Like, we're just gonna have to fight. So we might. Oh, I get to win the fight. Well, let's start with a win. Like if he's going to back up, I'm just going to choke you out. Yeah.
Most of what he's doing isn't like, he's not punching people. I don't think I've ever seen him actually hit someone. I saw him get hit probably a dozen times this season of like
throw a
people
woman
punching him.
Around.
He did throw that.
Oh yeah. Well, she was holding on to that shirt and he needed it back.
They're like cats. They can't let go.
Can't let go. And what was funny is like right after that clip, like there was one guy who was like clearly, you know, the meme of like a guy who's totally like jacked and like the most homophobic dude ever, and he's like secretly gay, but like obviously gay. There was this dude who would get like blackout drunk every night, and every time he would pivot from like seemingly a reasonably chill guy to like just everything was, you know, him like taking an affront to like Bert being gay, or like thinking that people were coming on to him or something. And he punched the shit out of Frank. And Frank like had to back up, and, you know, because he can't actually get in a fight. That's not his job. But so what the audience did, they add these things called fish toys in, which you can pay to send plushies to a contestant. Okay. And they added a new one called Gay Porn for Connor. And so you could pay like $30 to have explicit full page gay pornography printed out. And then they'd bring it up to him and they'd say like, Connor, here's your gay porn. And he'd be like, this shit's fucking gross, dude. And they're like, Connor, you have to read the other page and thank the person who donated it. And he'd be like, oh. Right. Thanks to 612 KKK man for the gay pornography. And then at one point, like it got so much that like they were delivering him like every 15-20 seconds for like 20 minutes to be like, gay porn delivery for Connor. And then the TTS the whole time is like, Connor, stop lying. You love the gay porn. You're horny. Connor, are you a fag? Connor, like they're just bullying him, and he's losing his mind. Like any normal guy would be like, this is hilarious. Like, this is pretty funny. They're paying this amount of money to send me gay porn, you know, and he's just livid, like screaming. He's so angry about it. And meanwhile, Bert is finding all the discarded gay pornography to keep for himself. So he has a big stack of black and white printed explicit, and he like lifted it up too close to the camera, just dick and ass. Just explicit gay porn that he's taking back, and he's getting a little Bert off going, you know. That's what he does.
End or dick in?
Dick in ass. Oh, yeah, it was like it was like the piece of paper was laying down, kind of facing the camera across the room, and I could see what was happening in the picture. That's how big this, you know, every bit of that 8.5 by 11 was taken up by gay pornography, and so they just add little things to troll like that. Just
we need a bro to hook Bert up. An angel, not a devil.
I was gonna be like, man, we should send some lock and load to Bert, but I think that might be a bad move. I think this guy's, might make him too powerful. It might make him too much of a contender. But yeah, it's, if you haven't checked out Fishtank, it's fishtank.live. Very funny, entertaining stuff. Sometimes it feels like you click in and it's like, oh, there's really not much going on right now. But the past week has been nonstop action and entertainment. So I've really enjoyed it. Liked. Oh, just last thing on Fishtank, that clip I showed you of Frank being punched in the head by that girl, Peyton. That was the first clip from Fishtank of any of the 3 seasons to go absurdly viral, and it got like 30 million views on Twitter, a shit ton. Oh, wow. And so there were thousands and thousands of comments who had no idea what was happening. And never in my life would I think that when Fishtank finally went viral, it would be tons of people siding with Frank Hassel that this woman was engaging in domestic abuse. And so there were people being like, who the hell's that white knight coming at the end telling him to leave? Does he not know that woman just abused him and beat him? People being like,
they have no background.
There was some misogynists in there being like, oh, women always get away with this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, like Frank's been harassing her and bothering her. Frank went in the comments and said, it's a reality TV show, dude, calm down. And the guy's like, you're just victim blaming. And Frank's like, I'm the guy. I'm the guy in the video that's harassing. She punched me because I had been just like ignoring her, stealing her clothes and like putting it in the toilet or whatever. And so, yeah, it's fun. There's a good bit of justice. At the end of it, they the way they got rid of Frank is they made all the contestants pay to make him leave, because they get these pieces of laminated cardboard that say fish bucks. It's like $1, but it's a fish buck, and each one is worth $100 at the end, and you get them as like little incentives. And Sam went to everyone and was like, how much would you pay in fish bucks if I get rid of Frank right now? And they're like 8 fish bucks, man. Like, I just want this guy gone. And so he went through everyone, and at the end, Sam was like, So we're all super thankful for Frank coming here. Let's give him a round of applause. Everyone's like covered in like mustard and ketchup and sweaty and disgusting. And they've got like cigarette ash all over him. Frank is like wounded and like got stab wounds. And so Sam goes, all right, I think the way we're going to do this is everyone grab your fish bucks. And I want you to walk up to Frank. I want you to hand him the fish bucks. And I want you to say, thank you, Frank. And so he made all of them walk up and give huge, I think he made like $4,000 that these people had made in prizes just to get rid of him. They didn't know that he was leaving anyway, but it was very
I wouldn't have paid a dime. Like if you're at that point, if he's asking, then he's about to leave anyway. Yeah. I'd be like, let's wait and see, guys. I think he's going to leave anywhere.
This was like 30 minutes after he took that fall. And I saw that and I'm like, he might need to go to the hospital. Like,
I could never do that. That show was great for entertainment value for watching, but I could never compete in a show like that because I feel like we're just gonna fight now. Like my okay, it's time to fight level is just lower than that show allows for. Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm gonna win the fight or anything. It's just like I think the rules say I now have to strike you, sir, and so here it has begun.
they on the same page. I've often been told, like, no, Woody, you're not supposed to hit people when they just used words. Like, I have a vastly different moral code than that. Like, you can't say anything you want. I think you're obligated to return that kind of language with violence. That's and hopefully I'm not full of shit. I hope that I would try. Frank Castle's huge. I'm not claiming I can beat that guy. He might have 100 pounds on me. That's a lot. Yeah, but
dude, somebody surprises me and I swing. Like hiding around.
You would have done well in this.
Like,
then you would have.
Hey, Richard, I'm like, fuck.
I mean, they did let after Frank admitted that he was a paid actor and that he was not gay and Bert was never going to get to fuck him. Bert was like seething and furious, and so Sam let them box each other to do it. Bert has no idea. Like I was watching it and I'm like, Bert is the least athletic jack guy I've ever seen. That came to light yesterday when he had all the contestants do polygraphs with embarrassing questions. And it turns out that Bert has muscle implants in his arms, lats, shoulders. And so he's not actually, and his ass, he's not jacked. He's just like a guy with muscle implants. And so he was like frantically swinging at Frank, and Frank didn't get any good hits on him really either. It was clear that Frank was holding back a little bit. At one point, like before the fight, I saw Sam like lean in and talk to Frank. And so I wouldn't be surprised. It was like, hey, you can't.
Is Frank skilled?
No, he doesn't know how to box. He clearly doesn't know how to box, but he's an enormous guy. And two people who don't know how to box, the guy who's huge is probably going to win. But it was like more like allowing a cathartic experience for Bert. Because it was like in any way a wash. No one really got a huge hit, but afterward, everyone's like, "Yeah, Bert!" And Bert's like hands in the air like Rocky, just stoked on his victory, and everyone's happy for that. So, it's really the Bert show in some ways.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know. I have so much empathy. That show's not for me. Like I can acknowledge what a great job he's doing, and he's hitting his own bullseye. It's just not the same as mine.
Yeah, the parts there were when I was watching like Bert like. There were parts of me where I'm like, oh my God, how is this guy going to handle realizing that he's been birding off in front of people for weeks? And like, is he going to, and that Frank is lying to him and that, what's going to happen? It turns out this guy is beyond resilient. Like he immediately drops a previous thing and then he's on to the next conspiracy. Like all it takes like 2 seconds after Bert, he realizes Frank's not going to fuck him. Like someone in text to speech is like, Bert, you've never been closer. Think about it. 3 letters, 3 years, 3 seasons. And then he's like pacing around for the next 10 minutes, like 3. What could that possibly mean? Do they mean 3? And then he's like making these because he's apparently like a very high IQ person. And so he's quickly making associations, but the associations don't make sense. Very, very entertaining. But like he doesn't seem bothered.